Okay, and these are the other big picture points. The purpose of this video is for you to memorize the lower Herc points, the window of the sky, the 4 command points, the influence points, 8 extra channels. I don't know any particularly easy way to remember this information. I just did this for my point location and acupuncture examination for the NCCAOM. There may be many ways to do this. I just like to have an order, write it out every day, so when I get in the exam I can write it out and I'm done. So this is my methodology on this. Let's work with, first of all, I try to set up the piece of paper the same each time, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up 9 frames here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll write them out. The lower C points, I mean, they're normally fairly easy to remember. I just kind of like to write them all out. Window of sky, I think many of them are easy on the neck there, but there are a couple of key ones that I often forget. 8 influence points. It may be that you just write these out every day, and in the exam you can just recall them more easily. I like to get them out of my head, right? So also you need to know in general, you know, the Jing, the Ying, the Shu, even though we know all the numbers of that, you've got to know generally what these points treat, particularly from a traditional point of view. So, I mean, we can just put some little lines down here just to make it nice and clear. I mean, if you are unclear, you can also write up here the well, Shu stream to C points, right? But I don't need to do that. Muscle meridian meeting points, I know, I don't know how important these are going to be, and might get one question on it, but I think they're important, they're part of the big picture and you should know them. Meeting points, right? Muscle meridian meeting points. Let's underline all of these. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then here we're just going to put the 4 command points, right? Then down here, more importantly, 8 extras. You always get questions on this, and it is important to know, particularly these point combinations. They're extremely valuable in clinic, actually. 8 extra channel, 13 ghost. I didn't know these. I had to remember them all. Okay, 4 C's. So let's see. Lower her C points. We do it like this: 3 yang, and then 3 leg yang. Okay, so we can do it like this. We know large intestine, small intestine, triple energizer, the arm yang channels and organs, and then the leg yang channels. We actually just make sure that these link up. Stomach in the 6 divisions, right? Small intestine, bladder, the tai yang, the triple energizer, and the gallbladder being the xiao yang, right? So here, you know, you can do these as squares as well. I sometimes do it like that. Dun, 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 dun. Stomach 37, really important points. Yeah, for excesses in the large intestine, always add that. Stomach 39, yeah, any small intestine channel. Bladder 39, right? Stomach 36, these are big points, they're easier to remember. Bladder 40 and gallbladder 34. The big points are those channels right around the knee, right? You can close that up if you like. Window of the sky points, well, I think it's an easy way to remember it, like the anterior point in line with the Adam's apple, stomach 9, and as you work backwards, large intestine 18. This is going to help you in point location too, to remember this, right, on the SCM, sternocleidomastoid, right, and then behind that in the same horizontal line is what we call small intestine 16. I actually go up here now because I put triple N. I think about that next side view. Envisage that. Triple energizer 16, small intestine 17. I can think small intestine is going to be here, 16 is going to be here. We can link some of these points if we like. CV22, just one you got to remember, but it's also linked to that neck area, right? almost all of them around the neck, and even this one here, bladder 10, right, behind in the back, and do 16 right at the base of the occiput. So these are more, you can use a kind of a logic here. The last ones you have to remember, lung 3 and pericardium 1, they're the unusual ones. So you write those out. The 8 influence points, I do it like I first write these points out. Zhang, Fu, Qi, blood, sinew, bones, marrow, and vessels. So the Zhang and the spleen represents that in the front mood point. So you can say liver 13, the front mood point of the spleen. Front mood point of the stomach, CV12. You already know that. Qi is the great regulator in the center of the chest, actually the mood point of the pericardium, if you like, CV17. For blood, okay, we're using now back shu points, bladder 17, the blood shu, I always call it, right? Sinew is gallbladder 34. Remember, that can relax and undo all sinew problems in the body, right? Bones, bladder 11. Marrow, gallbladder 39. Vessels, lung 9. Yeah. So they're the 8 influence points. Remember, once we have these out, you're going to get a question: what's the influence point of marrow? And yeah, we can also think about the C's of marrow, do 20, do 16, but also gallbladder 39. We can also use that in treatment when we know it's related to those ideas and concepts, right? So we can use these have become important for when we change treatments as well, and making sure that we're including the greatest influential points that we can to influence the pattern. Okay. Next level we have, we've got to remember what's the basics. So I just, at the top, I just wrote here, mental kind of issues for the Jing Well points. Yeah, you know, you clear heat as well. So febrile conditions, B syndrome, asthma, and then the Fu issues. So I just kind of add to this once I have this basis. I know these are a lot to do with the stomach and the small intestine, a lot about rebellious qi, yeah? Asthma and cough, yeah? And these are also for hot, cold. I just write that out because that is a feature of these Jing liver points here, yeah? B syndrome, well, what do you think of? You think of wind damp, you think of heaviness, that's okay. Febrile, well, we know a lot of these Jing spring points are great for clearing heat, and you know, complexion, you know, is linked to heat a lot of the time, yeah? Mental, we think about fullness below the heart or the chest area, right? So this is just giving us ideas of what are the general indications for these command points. Muscle meridian meeting points, these ones, it's important that you get this 3-arm yang. So we do the arm with the upper body first, and then we do the 3-arm yin. Yeah, and then we do the 3-leg yang and 3-leg yin. Okay, so I haven't spread this out particularly well, but let's do it anyway here, right? So where do the 3-arm yang channels meet? They meet in the forehead. And which point in the forehead? Well, they actually meet gallbladder 13. So remember that liner point, stomach 8, 13, 15, the do 24. They're all important to remember that order, but just remember in the corner and the forehead and the sides of the head, almost the sides there, so remember. 3-arm yin, we'll think about where do they end. They all end in the chest, and we're going to think thoracic cavity. Yeah, and the representative of that is gallbladder 22. A tricky point, actually. After 21 on top of the shoulder, it comes down in the side of the body, I think in the 4th intercostal, 5th intercostal space on the midline, right? Thoracic cavity, almost near great lower of the spleen, right? 3-leg yang, where do they finish? They finish in the eyes, yeah? Small intestine 18 and stomach 3. Now stomach 3, you know where that is. You can normally come down before you get to stomach 4 in the corner of the mouth. Well, small intestine 8 is just lateral that, so they're together there. 3-leg yin points meet in the genitals. Okay, and the representative of that is CV3, actually the move one in the bladder, right? 4 command points. So abdomen, I just write these out every day, you know. The back, and you know the back is here as well, but this one is back and neck, yeah? And this one is head and face. So, you know, the abdomen, think about stomach 36, which will cure a lot of problems in the abdomen. The back and neck, the key here is it's not bladder 40 or bladder 60, it's lung 7, because we're looking at the neck here as well. Yeah, the upper back and neck. And this is a command point for that, right? For the back, we put bladder 40. Yeah, it travels all the way up the back. Yeah, and we know it branches off there and goes into that line and goes into the do channel all the way through. The head and face, well, we know that large intestine 4. We know that very clearly, and we should know those command points. All right, we're getting there. 8 extra channels. So this is probably more important. I do it like this. Ren, do, die. You see I'm leaving a gap in between these, and then the chong. Right, ren, do, die, chong. Yeah. Yin, chow. Yang, chow. Think about this order. Ren is the yin, the do is the yang. The chong is also, we put here the yin wei. Yeah? Or this is also the yang wei. So the chong is very much yin in the middle of the body. The dai, well, you could think of it each way, but it's got to go with the chong as well. So the yin wei, yang wei. Yeah. So when we're thinking about what we call the master point of these channels is lung 7. So I'm a bit tight for room here. I went for the video here, but let's have a look here. Master point. Then we're going to go for the she cleft point, which all of the 8 extras, well, all the yin chow, yang chows all have she cleft points, right? And then law points. And the law points are really only for the ren and do. So let's have a look. Lung 7, kidney 6. These are classic combinations actually. Small intestine 3, bladder 62. Think about kidney 6 on the yin, bladder 62 on the yang. They're opposite each other, just below the ankle and the malleoluses, right? The dye, well, gallbladder 41, huge point actually, and triple energizer 5. Classic combination actually in treatment that we would use, right? Chong is spleen 4, again, PC6. A really big one for menstrual and infertility, those kind of ideas. Spleen 4, PC6, right? The she cleft points, well, not as easy to remember. I just remember kidney 8 and I remember kidney 9. Now they are 8 and 9, kidney 8 and 9. This one a little bit tricky. Well, bladder 59 and unusually here gallbladder 35 fits in here. Yin chow, yang wei, yin wei, right? And for the law points, I mean the law for the do is super easy. It's just do 1. For the ren channel, remember it spreads and opens over the chest. We call that CV15. 13 ghost points. I don't have an easy way to remember that. I just remember there are 4 do's here. So I just think of them from the top. 26, 23, 16 behind the occipital and do 1. A lot of extreme points here, and that leads into lung 11 and large intestine 11. Yeah, and then a PC8, PC7. Stomach 6, bit of a tougher one. Bladder 62. Which is also, you know, over here, right? CV24, spleen, another extremity, right? Spleen 1, and then you have the 2 points under the tongue, jing jing yu, yeah, right? The 4 C's, I find that, you know, it's not as easy to remember the ghost points. Actually, you get less questions on those, but it is good to know them because it is part of the requirements to know them. 4 C's, what are the C's? The chi, the blood, the food, and the marrow. See, my goal is to write all these things out in one sheet of paper and just know where they are. It helps me actually remember the cues as well. So when you get out, you get that one sheet of paper that size, you just write it all out. So for the marrow, we know we can think about the brain, right? Do 20, do 16. And then I go up here, do 15, do 14. Came down to here for the chi, actually, strangely enough. And we know that big point in the center of the chest, CV17, and then stomach 9. Yeah, it jumps in here. Bladder 11, and then it's just the lower C point, stomach 37 and stomach 39. Food, stomach 30 and stomach 36. So, you know, you remember these points are also very valuable in terms of treatment and diagnostics. In the exams, you get a lot of case studies and you'll be able to use those points. Okay, I hope that's helpful. That's just the way I do it. The other big picture points. Then you've pretty much, if you've got the Jing Well command points as I suggested, then you have the back shu front mu with all the vertebras and do's on them, and then you have the major points like the Yuan, Lo, and Shik Lef written out. This is your missing piece, and I hope that's helpful for you.